Beretta 92X Centurion model, aka the Spaghetti Blaster. It's not the flashy, slutty chick at the club that's out of your league, but it is more of the trad wife. Still pretty enough for it to be your wife, and she's going to be loyal to you for the rest of your life. All right, what's my experience with the Beretta 92X Centurion? All right, so I bought this gun about a year and a half ago for about $600. This one runs you about it can run you between $600 and $750, depending on where you buy it at. I bought mine at a local gun store. If you're looking for the more fancier kind, like the Beretta 92X from Landon Tactical or Wilson Combat, you're looking at between like $1,200 to $1,500 for pretty much, I want to say the same package, but it's still going to be double action. It's still going to be hold the same capacity. The only things you're really getting from when you're paying from them is you're going to get an upgraded trigger. Your hammer is going to be like cut out or whatever, so it's going to be lighter, probably a little lighter, and probably get probably a better little recoil spring. This gun definitely does the job. The pistol grips on here are extremely aggressive, and they give you a lot of grip, especially if you're wearing gloves. They really dig into your gloves and they kind of hook on, so you're definitely going to get, I feel like, a lot more grip wearing gloves than with your bare hands, especially with how aggressive the texture is on these grip pads. When you pick up this gun and you get it in the Beretta box, it does come with a wider grip that you can put on here. That is also very aggressive. Let's go ahead and jump into the pros. All right, from what I've noticed, this weapon platform is pretty accurate, especially if you're watching your fundamentals and then you're also using the single action stage, which gets rid of a lot of that play and that pressure from pulling the trigger. This model, the RDO 92X Centurion model, is pretty modular. You can change, it comes with that pick rail at the bottom, so you can put a flashlight on, you can put a red dot because it's got the mount with it. And then you can buy other slides or whatever from, like Landon, Beretta, or Wilson Combat, I guess. You can change out the barrels or whatever. So there's that. Mags. The mag compatibility with the Beretta 92X is pretty great. It comes with these 18 rounders. You get 2 of them when you get your Beretta, and they have kind of a glossy finish on them, and they hold more than the regular Beretta 92 FS mags, which they only hold 15. These ones hold 18. They do work with FS mags. The FS mags hold less rounds than the 92X mags, so keep that in mind. But these do work. You can find a lot of FS mags for sale. For some reason, I can't seem to find these ones that came with the gun, the 18 rounders or whatever. Even on their website, I had a hard time finding them. So just keep that in mind. These FS mags, they're 15 rounds, but you can even find them at your local gun store used, and you can get them for pretty cheap instead of paying like $50 per mag. So keep that in mind. I got these for like $10, $15 in their used mag box at my local gun store. And then when you're going towards extended mags, the Mech Gear mags, I say, are probably the superior magazine for the Beretta. Why? Because is how like less the base plate sticks out. So when you stick it in there, it's pretty flush and it doesn't pop out too much compared to Beretta's their own manufactured 20 rounder, which sticks out like all this way. It's a 20 round FS mag, but it just sticks out too much compared to the Mech Gear magazines. So keep that in mind, and they cost the same price. I actually got this on a gun show on sale I got for like $40 or something like that. I think I paid like 50 something for this. The single action on here is really nice. I really like it. I don't know the exact poundage. I think it's around like 3 pounds for the trigger pull. And then there's like for the double action, it's around like 8. I'll probably put the correct number for the poundage on the trigger pull up on the screen. So now I can't say as much as I've shot this thing, is that the reset is kind of hard to feel when you're shooting these. It's really light, and it's to me it's barely noticeable compared going from a Glock to this. And it's pretty short, so you don't got to worry too much about it. But yeah, right out of the box, you have slide serrations. They're not super aggressive, but they're aggressive enough where you can grab onto these with wet or muddy hands or something. So that's really good. So you have front serrations and back serrations. Pretty much everything on this Beretta is pretty aggressive. So they definitely kept in mind of different conditions and probably stuff you're going to be wearing on your hands. So these are definitely made for fighting, and especially if you're going to use it as like a duty gun, these are pretty great. I really like the mag release on here. It pops out just enough. It's pretty hard to miss. It's not like you're going to accident. I haven't had any times where I've accidentally bumped it up and released a mag. So that's good. And compared to the other models of 92X, is that this one has a decocker and it goes back up. So it's not like you put the safety down and then you have to flip it back up when you're ready. But even like as the regular Berettas, like the M9 or whatever, you can pop it down in the safe, and then it also decocks weapon, and then when you're ready, you pop it back up, and then you're ready to fire. This one just decocks the hammer, and then you're good to go. And then whenever you're ready to fire, you just pull your trigger. You don't have to flip the safety up. The slide release on here is I like it. It comes out just enough, or it's not super hard. Where on like a stock Glock, you kind of got to really like push in on it. So, and there's like almost no surface space. It's got a little groove on here so that you can actually get your thumb on it and push down. Where I kind of tend to have a high grip, so when I was on Glocks, I was kind of pushing it, the slider release on a Glock up, and then so I get premature slide lock. And then on here, which I'm still working on, is that because of my high grip, is that I tend to push this down with my hand, and so when it's the last round, the slide lock doesn't go up, and I keep it down so I don't get the slide lock. The decocker, in my opinion, is extremely nice. When you're appendix carrying and you have a decocker, it keeps you like that mentality of like, oh, I have a loaded firearm pointed at my cock. So that gives me that peace of mind compared to like a striker fire pistol. It's really nice to have and know that like the hammer's not going to come down and hit the primer and send a round into my cock. So that decocker gives me absolute confidence that my firearm's not going to go off in my pants. Double actions on here. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of double action, but make sure you're actually want to pull that trigger. So when you're drawing these, you kind of sometimes want to prep that trigger to get your shot off quicker. So you're gonna have to practice with this. All right, going into cons. Like I said before, this thing is heavy. All right, especially in this exact configuration that I have it in. It's literally pretty close to the weight of a brick. All right, I think bricks are like 4 pounds. This right now, I think as this is like 3 pounds, like 5 ounces or something. So it's pretty hefty, especially carrying an appendix. It's not too bad if you got a good belt. I have the Saguaro Gear emissary belt, and it supports it just fine. But it is heavy. It's there. Wearing it on your hip kind of sucks too. Especially if you're wearing a war belt, your plate carrier in a pack or something like that, and you're doing a movement. This thing is going to be on your hip. And it's going to suck. So my plan right now is kind of just cut off the light, get a holster without a light for it, and then yeah, go from there as my sidearm for a battle pistol or whatever. Reliability on this thing, it's kind of been a love-hate thing. I have noticed that if you get anything back here where the hammer is, it does gunk it up, and then it's not going to connect with a firing pin, so you're not going to be able to set and release. You're not going to be able to set your round off. So it does all right in snow if you brush it off real quick. Same thing with mud, but it definitely gets gunked up. So you're gonna have to be aware of that with the external compartments compared to, like, say if I chucked my Glock into the snow or something like that. I don't got to really worry about this. If my hammer's back, you fall and your hammer's back on this and stuff gets in there, it's not going to go off, so you're going to have to clean it out. But if your hammer's forward, it kind of keeps that from happening. You get pretty good extractions out of this since it's open to the top, but like I said, since it's open, it also can allow more shit in. Also, I noticed with extremely dirty ammo, I ended up buying some reloads from Southern Munitions, which absolutely gunked the living shit out of this gun to the point where, like, after like 100 rounds, you can really feel the slide getting sluggish, and that's with it lubed. So dirty ammo will cause this thing to kind of feel super sluggish when cycling rounds. So yeah, and I even know that if it gets dirty or high round counts that I put through it, it does get kind of sluggish, and you can feel it. It feels weird. So yeah, so you're gonna have to keep it lubed. There is a learning curve to the Beretta, all right? Especially off your first shot from going to single action or double action to single action. Especially if you military guys who've had experience with the M9, you're definitely going to have to keep that in mind with this. It's not all the same. I mean, after you get that first shot off, you're going back into single action, and keeping your fundamentals is key with these. I've also noticed that using the Beretta has made me a better shooter on striker fire platforms, and it kind of helped me fine tune my fundamentals with the Beretta, and then bringing them over to a striker platform is I've become more accurate. I get better groups and everything like that. So this is definitely a harder gun to shoot accurately in groups like that. So you're gonna have to train with it. It's not gonna be like overnight you're gonna be good with these Berettas unless you got a lot of experience with them, and that's why guys like to really upgrade them, get the Langdon Tactiles, these $1,500 ones. This will do you just fine. Just got to train with it. Next thing is the finish on these is kind of cheap. I've noticed like it hasn't been like super duper. I haven't put like thousands of rounds. I probably put between like 1,500 and under 3,000 rounds through this Beretta. So it's not super used, but the finish mostly is from holster wear on here. I've noticed it comes off pretty easily, and especially around my decocker and my slide release, the finish is worn away. And then like just kind of down in areas that I don't touch so much, like over here underneath the slide and around certain parts, you can see the finish wearing away. And I've also seen it on the mags. On the mags, the finish wears away also. And I've seen in forums also that's kind of like a big complaint with these Berettas, especially. I guess this is an American. This one's an American-made one, so they're definitely. I feel like they are cheaping out with the finish. Also, within a few 100 rounds, I think it was like 300 rounds. On the front sight post, before I even got a red dot, the paint inside the front sight post came out, and so I just had blacked out, which is still usable. I kind of like to have something there to focus on and pick up that front sight post. So I ended up just taking some like a paint mark or something, or some paint we had in the house, putting it in there, and then it was good to go again, which it ended up coming out again, but I'm on a red dot now, so I'm not too worried about it. Red dot wise, I've had it. It's probably a Holosun's fault, and I haven't had the base plate come loose, but the Holosun into the base plate has come loose multiple times already, and it is blue Loctited, so I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Probably just retorque it down. Probably not the right spec or something. Another thing I don't like is how chunky this base plate is. It's fucking fat and it's thick. So keep that in mind when you're putting it on there. It does rise up your optic quite a bit. The worst part about the Beretta is the holster compatibility. There's like almost no holsters that are gonna fit this. And if you take the X300 off, yeah, this Picatinny rail here, and if you try to put it like in an M9 holster, it's not gonna fit because it's got the wide base on the frame here for the Picatinny rail. So you're going to be very limited on holsters. So what you're going to probably have to look for if you want a holster for your Beretta is you're going to have to order a custom one. Kind of cheaped out, kind of, and I end up going with a Philster floodlight outside the waistband. So it just kind of hooks onto my Surefire X300. And that's what I've been running for a little while. I mean, you could probably take some shot cord to secure it. The only thing I don't like about having it in this holster is I don't like having screws on both sides because I feel like those are failure points and my holster will come apart. The Beretta, I actually love this thing and I hate it at the same time. So take that for what you want. I like it more than my Glock. It's more aesthetically pleasing. I like to carry it. I like how it shoots. I just don't like when it gets skunked up that it starts to run super sluggish. I do carry it with 147 grain Winchester silver tips, and that's for when I run in the skinwalkers into the woods. So takedown of the Beretta is extremely easy, and it's not finicky at all compared to like you have to depress some shit for the Beretta, send the slide forward, and then like pull the trigger for it to come off. And same thing with the SIGs. P320s or the M17 or M18 or whatever the fuck it's called is when you're taking that slide off and putting it back together, it can kind of get kind of wonky sometimes. I have a problem when I'm taking apart an M17 is that for some reason the firing pin doesn't set properly. So after I put everything together and I pull the trigger on my functions test, you know, you can hear the trigger kind of like or the firing pin release, but it doesn't. It's weird. Yeah. So take apart the Beretta, you just depress this tab or this button here, switch over to the other side and push it down and it comes right off. Super nice and quick. And for maintenance out in the field, it's great. Now, what sucks is that if you do want to fully take apart the upper, you're having to remove roll pins and stuff like that, which you should probably replace after you take out a roll pin. So that kind of sucks. And then if you really want to clean out that top part of the slide, because I noticed the decocker gets gunked up, especially with mud and stuff like that. If you drop it in there, it just gets gunked up. It comes sluggish, and you got to kind of spray CLP in there and to kind of get it working again. All right, guys, I'm going to conclude this video here. Make sure you like, subscribe if you like the video, and then go ahead and check out our website. Sign up for the newsletter on there. Let us know how we're doing in the comments. Yeah, or even check out our Instagram, stuff like that. Get some followers on there. Share with your friends. If you like anything you see in the affiliate links, feel free to purchase those. It helps us out. We get a percentage of it back. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay gooning. It's not the girl you want, but it's the girl you can afford.